Before we dive into the white paper of Bitcoin, it's worth to understand what is a white paper and the importance of it. A white paper is a document that provides information about a particular technology, product, or service. Typically written in an academic style, it aims to deliver in-depth technical information to potential investors and users. For Bitcoin, the white paper served to outline how the system operates and the problems it would solve. Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, introducing a novel idea through its white paper. This document was key in explaining Bitcoin's approach, highlighting the flaws in existing electronic payment systems and detailing its function as a peer-to-peer digital currency. Following Bitcoin's example, many other cryptocurrencies have also released white papers. These documents are commonly used to educate people about new cryptocurrency projects. Abstract: the genesis of Bitcoin. This abstract of the Bitcoin white paper captures the essence of why Bitcoin was created, to provide a solution to the centralization in the financial system exacerbated by the reliance on third parties for electronic transactions. This section highlights the issue of double spending, where a single digital token can be spent twice. Bitcoin addresses this through an innovative consensus mechanism, which later sections of the white paper elaborate on. Introduction. The white paper opens with a critical examination of the traditional financial systems, emphasizing their reliance on trusted third parties to process electronic payments. This system has inherent vulnerabilities, including reversibility of transactions and the need for extensive trust, which exposes parties to fraud and increases transaction costs. Bitcoin is proposed as an alternative system that operates without trusted third parties, using cryptographic proof instead of trust, which allows for truly irreversible transactions. Transactions. In this section, Nakamoto describes the mechanics of Bitcoin transactions, which are transfers of value between Bitcoin wallets. Each transaction is represented as a chain of digital signatures. Owners transfer Bitcoin by digitally signing a hash of the previous transaction and the public key of the next owner, adding these to the end of the coin. This provides a verifiable chain of ownership while also allowing nodes in the network to verify transactions independently without needing a central authority. Timestamp server. The timestamp server plays a crucial role in preventing double spending in Bitcoin by confirming that a specific block was present on the blockchain at a certain time. A typical Bitcoin block contains several transactions. The data from these transactions is processed through a mathematical hash function to produce a concise and unique series of characters known as a hash. This hash serves as a way to check the integrity of the data in the block. When a Bitcoin miner adds a new block to the blockchain, they also add a timestamp to the hash of the block. This new hash includes the timestamp from the previous block, linking the blocks together in a chain that each successive hash strengthens. Proof of work. For Bitcoin to work, it must have a method to validate and timestamp transactions, which is accomplished using a proof-of-work system. As explained earlier, each block of transactions in Bitcoin is assigned a unique hash. In the proof-of-work system, miners or network nodes compete to find a unique number called a nonce that results in the block's hash being lower than a predetermined target hash value. The difficulty of finding such a hash can be adjusted to maintain a consistent rate of new blocks per hour. Successfully finding the correct hash value meets the proof-of-work criteria and proves that substantial computational effort was used. As described in the Bitcoin white paper, this method operates on a principle similar to one CPU, one vote. If the majority of computational power is in the hands of honest nodes, the blockchain will remain accurate and trustworthy. Network. In the Bitcoin network, every node receives broadcasts of all transactions. Each node gathers these transactions into a new block and then tries to find the correct hash value that meets the proof of work requirement for that block. When a node successfully finds this hash, it broadcasts the completed block to the entire network. If all transactions within that block are confirmed as valid, the other nodes will accept the block and then proceed to work on mining the next block in the chain. Acceptance of the block is shown by adding it to their version of the blockchain and starting on the subsequent set of transactions. Nodes always recognize the longest chain of blocks as the correct version of the blockchain. This recognition is crucial, especially in the rare cases where two chains of the same length may appear due to simultaneous mining, a tie. However, the tie is resolved as soon as one chain grows longer with the addition of a new block, making it the accepted and definitive blockchain. Incentive. Nodes form the core structure of the Bitcoin network. To promote integrity among participants, the system rewards the node that first solves the proof of work challenge for each block and shares it with the network. The initial transaction in each new block rewards the successful node with new Bitcoin, effectively introducing new coins into the system. This block reward may consist of newly created coins or transaction fees. Eventually, when all Bitcoins are mined, the rewards for mining will be based entirely on transaction fees. It's also worth to note that the incentive system actually encourages nodes to stay honest. It's also more profitable to play by the rules because it will favor anyone with more new coins than to undermine the system and the validity of his own wealth. Reclaiming disk space. Older Bitcoin transactions can be compacted into a structure called a Merkle tree. This tree format reduces storage space by summarizing multiple transaction hashes into a single hash. This means nodes don't need to check each transaction individually to validate past transactions. Essentially, this method compresses older blocks, decreasing the storage space needed for the blockchain. Simplified payment verification. Users are not required to maintain a complete copy of the blockchain to verify transactions. They can associate a transaction with a specific block using its timestamp. While users cannot verify the transaction independently, they can confirm that it has been validated by the network nodes. This method is dependable as long as the network is predominantly operated by honest nodes. Combining and splitting value. Transactions are made up of inputs and outputs, enabling the division and amalgamation of values. Each transaction can either have one input, which corresponds to the output from a previous transaction, or several smaller inputs. Additionally, a transaction can have as many as two outputs, one to make a payment and another, if required, to send change back to the sender. Privacy. In traditional banking systems, transaction details are accessible only to the banks involved and the parties conducting the transaction. For instance, if you send $50 to a friend, only you, your friend, and your respective banks know about this transaction. However, Bitcoin transactions are different because they are transmitted to all network nodes and recorded on a public ledger. To maintain privacy, Bitcoin uses anonymous public keys as wallet addresses, which don't reveal the owner's identity. The white paper recommends using a new pair of keys for each transaction to enhance privacy. Calculations. The only method for an attacker to reverse Bitcoin transactions would be to alter a transaction in their favor after it has been made, requiring the creation of a new blockchain branch that would need to overtake the original legitimate blockchain. This action must start only after the transaction has been confirmed and seen by the recipient, which significantly complicates the process. The probability of such an attack succeeding is extremely low and decreases further as more time passes after the transaction. The white paper includes calculations to show how many additional blocks would need to be securely added post-transaction before a recipient can be fully confident that the transaction is irreversible. Conclusion. The conclusion of the white paper recaps the entire document, summarizing the components of Bitcoin and explaining how they collectively forge a secure digital payment system that operates independently of trust between parties. This system utilizes a combination of cryptographic proofs, decentralized consensus, and economic incentives to ensure secure and private transactions across the network. If you've watched this video all the way through, give yourself a round of applause for leveling up your knowledge. Don't forget to subscribe for more insightful crypto content. See you in the next video, Cryptology fam.